Itching, the burning, the shedding, the what's going on. Well, it all happened again for me, and I'm going to tell you all about it and what I'm doing to get back and stay in balance. Grab your beverage of choice and let's go. Hi, it's Lynn, and welcome back to my channel. So, if you've been here a while, you know that this channel is all about helping women and encouraging women who are dealing with CCCA or scarring alopecia, early scarring alopecia, there's actually quite a few different types of hair loss that the women on the channel that view this channel that are involved with this channel that we are dealing with. So the one thing that we also know for many of us is that sometimes we can go into remission, and essentially what that means is the symptoms that we have, the major shedding, the loss, it slows down or it stops. And then there's usually some regrowth and certainly minimal symptoms, if none. And those come in waves. And so I think the thing that's unique about this condition is that everybody experiences it a little differently. And there are some similarities. And so for me, over the last few years, I've had these waves of uh, full-blown remission and really great growth. And then I've had some flare-ups. Some of those flare-ups have been triggered by sickness or high stress, and some combination of those. And so anyway, today we just came off the heels of another flare up. And so when I started this channel, I wanted it to be a place where I could share what I'm learning and share what I'm going through, and hopes that others who are in the same scenario would be encouraged, but also share your experiences as well. So if you have had flare-ups and remissions and all of that, I would love to hear your experience in the comments and in the chat. We could all learn from one another. But I also said when I started this channel that I was going to tell it. Like, I'm not going to just tell you when it's like, oh, it's growing and it's great and I have no issues. I'm going to tell you when the issues come up and what I'm learning even in those, right? So what I'm learning in the hard places, and in these seasons of like, what the heck is going on again? And so, and it hopes also so that maybe we can learn from one another. So flare up happened. But let me tell you some of the symptoms. So today I'm going to talk about the symptoms, some of the strategies, and I have a really fun announcement to share as well. So let's talk about some of the symptoms. It took me a minute to catch up with it, right? And so I think it was one of those things where I started to see hair shedding more so, and in the comb, when I pick it, I just started seeing more hair, if that makes sense. So I went through where I could wash my hair and have minimal loss and shedding. But then I went through this season, the last several weeks, where it just ramped up. The other symptom that I had was the front part of my hair was just incredibly sensitive, I guess is the best way to say it. I had to be careful when I picked it because I felt like a lot of the shedding was taking place up here, which is in some cases, I think people have called it either female pattern baldness or frontal fibrosing alopecia. I don't have that formal diagnosis, but it was certainly the female pattern ramping up. Plus, I'm in menopause, with most of the people on the channel are. So you know about that as well, or perimenopause, one of those things. So the shedding was one symptom, and it took me a few weeks to actually be like, wait, is this normal shedding? Is it shedding? Is it a flare up? But on simultaneously though, the other thing that was happening was my scalp. Like, I could feel my scalp. I don't know how to. I wonder if this happens to you. Like, I could literally feel my scalp. Like right now, my scalp is. I have no tenderness. I have no burning. I have no itching. I'm good. But during that season of the flare up, I would have these hot spots, I would call them, of tenderness, or like certainly like almost like just really, really tender, especially like one was right here. And or I would have just general itching, kind of generalized itching more so than normal. But the best way to describe it, I guess, is my scalp. I don't know. I could feel it. Like, I was like, something's going on. I didn't, so anyway, so those were the major symptoms: the shedding, the burning, the itching. Those were the things when I realized probably a month in, once it was like really pronounced, because what I was doing, I was sitting on, well, a couple of things. I was sitting on the sofa one time and just, I just started becoming just playing in the hair or whatever. And I was like, there's some spots. I felt like there were some spots coming up. Like there were some, this spot grows, but it's just doesn't grow as thick as the other parts. But the pronouncement of them, the difference was more pronounced rather. So I say all this to say too, like I'm at the stage in this journey. It's been a few years in where I am, I think, less concerned about just the hair loss in general, as much as I'm concerned. I'm like, this is a symptom of something. So what's going on? So I'll talk about that as well. But like, so I'm more concerned about what's my health, what's going on internally and mentally and spiritually that would trigger something like this, as opposed to the actual hair loss itself. So I'll talk about that again going forward. So anyway, so I had all those symptoms. So the symptoms were symptoming. The symptoms were here, and I had so much else going on, quite frankly, that I it took me a minute to really catch up with it, like I said. And so over the next few weeks, following weeks, I kind of did what I would call sort of my strategies or a level of assessment. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I did. Once I realized maybe 4 to 6 weeks in, I think it was, okay, this is a flare up. So just call it what it is. It's a flare up. So now what's next? And before I tell you kind of the strategies and the moment and the things that I ended up doing, what I want to do is pop in here real quick to share. Um, we are announcing today the Nourish Your Crown membership that we're going to do through YouTube. So first off, I got to give you all a huge thank you. Thanks, because you all helped pick out the emojis that are going to be able to be used if you join the membership. You picked out the platform that we're going to use. You overwhelmingly decided that if you were going to be in the membership, you wanted it to be in YouTube, and I get it. It's a one-stop shop. And so the membership itself was designed to be a place of connection and encouragement, right? So I'm going to continue to do the 2 videos per month. I will continue to do those. I will continue to have some amazing interviews. We have some cool ones coming up, and really informative ones coming up. So that is going to continue to be. So you will continue to get the same level of videos. Look, the old folks used to say, as long as God says the same, and I say that, and y'all keep showing up, I'll keep learning and sharing what I'm learning and figuring out how to provide more points of connection for us. So I'm going to keep doing the regular videos. The membership, though, are for those who want a more deeper connection with either chatting with me or one another or both, and wanting to engage at just a deeper level. But it's also going to be really attainable in terms of the activities and things that we'll do. So in the membership, if you choose to join the membership, and you can do it just by clicking that join button in the channel. You'll get live. We'll do a monthly live stream session, and that will be either a topic or it might be just a general Q&A. So we're going to do that at least once a month. We'll do a monthly live session. The other benefit that you'll get by joining the membership is getting early access to the videos. So you'll get them at least a day or two before they go up live to the other viewers of the channel. The other thing that you'll get is we're going to do, and this is probably, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about all of it, but I'm also excited about the opportunity to we're going to do monthly challenges. It doesn't mean we're going to do them 31-day challenges. It might be a 7-day challenge. It might be a 14-day. It might be a 21-day. But we're going to support one another with some challenges that are going to help us heal and help us nurture and help us slow down. And so we'll do a monthly wellness challenge, like a smoothie challenge or a hair care challenge, or like something as simple as like using the massager challenge, like small things, but things that'll help us build some habits, continue to build habits that we either build on habits that we have or start habits that we don't have that would be helpful for us. And so that will be included. And for the first monthly challenge, you know how when you hear a challenge all the times, like there's like this 70-day challenge where you go hard and do all these things. And there's a time and a place for that 100%. But I felt led for this first challenge that we're going to do is to have a challenge about gentle rest, right? Our first challenge is going to be for us to slow down and embrace gentle rest. And I'm excited about that for us, y'all. Hold on. So, ooh, so again, just to recap, what you'll get if you join the membership, you'll have access to a monthly live stream that we will do. And then you will have early access to the videos. You'll also get some special loyalty badges and emojis and things that will be that are custom for you, and they're customized by you, those who voted. We're going to do monthly wellness challenges. And as we go on this journey together, whether you are a viewer or you decide to join the membership, I'm really looking forward to connecting and engaging. And the other part that was important to share, I think, is that, the content, you've heard me talk about my faith, my belief in God and Jesus. And so it's going to be infused in the content, particularly in the membership as well. And so you'll find inspiration, encouragement, and we'll learn together. And whether you share my faith or you have a different perspective, you are welcome. And I invite you all to come and join as we walk on this path of love and joy and healing. So you are formally invited to join the Nourish Your Crown membership. I would love to see you all in there. So, and when you join, what you'll see is a quick welcome video for me. You'll see a quick note, and our first live will be held on either May 11th or May 18th. I'm going to just based upon what you all decide. So I'll put a poll in there for you to decide when you want to do the first live. And I'm going to tell y'all, if there is one person in there, we're doing it. If there's one person that joins membership, you and I will be doing the membership. If there's 1,000 people in there, we're going to do it. So just come on over, join us in the Nourish Your Crown membership. See you soon. Okay, so let's go back. So the strategies, the things that I decided to do with this particular flare up. Number one, as always, as I continue to do, you all know me by now, pray. I continue to pray. I was praying the whole time anyway, but I'm like, okay, Lord, what's going on? What do I need to do? What do I need to stop doing, Father? And what I was also, I think at this point, there's the verse, I'm not sure. I know it's in the New Testament. It's turn your worries into prayers. It's in the Message version. And that's what I said. I'm like, I'm not going to let this consume me. It is not an idol. It gets put in its proper place. There's obviously something going on, and there's something that I need to pay attention to. So I'm asking God for wisdom and grace, right, to navigate through this journey. And so then what I started to do in the process was like, okay, well, let me do an assessment, right? This flare up is actually data. I'm in school, y'all, so everything is kind of connected to school and assessment. So this flare up is actually information, or it's the beginning of getting some information. And so I started to go down the list of the things that are known to be my personal kind of triggers for when flare-ups happen. So stress is a big one, or managing stress is right. The stress is we all have it. The question is, how am I managing it and doing the things that I know that can support reduction of like cortisol and things like that. So I did a quick assessment there. Was I doing the appropriate things during this particular season? Not as great as I could have been. So that was one thing. The other thing that was obvious was around the foods that I've been eating, because I had been working a lot, just have a lot of balls in the air, as they say, juggling a lot of things. And as a result, some of my decisions and choices around my food were not the best. And that certainly doesn't help when it comes to fighting excess inflammation and helping hair. So check. That was not on point. So okay, I got to focus on that. Remember, get back on track with that. And a lot of this has to actually go back to with just doing a lot and needing to slow down and let go. So The other thing that was obvious for me was that I was not washing my hair in the same pattern that I had been in the past. And I know this, so I don't know why I didn't wasn't doing it. But I know that every 4 to 5 days is when I really need to wash my hair. My scalp does better with that. My hair does better. Just keep washing it washing conditioning every 4 to 5 days. I was going 7 days, 10 days, just let me just, wasn't doing it. And literally the moment I went back into that cycle, the time when I went back into that cycle, I could tell that my scalp was less irritated. So that was another thing. Like, okay, get back, stay on track with that. The other thing that was important for me at one point, was like I had a physical, and I was actually, when I went to the physical, I was prepared actually to have the doctor do, I wanted her to do a whole bunch of blood work. I haven't had blood work done in a while. And so it was time to get that done. And so I don't know if you've seen the video with Dr. Brienne, but she has on her website a list of the different um the labs that she runs for hair loss. And so what I did was I went on Dr. Brienne's website, I downloaded the names of all the different labs. And when I went to my physical, I took them to my doctor and I was like, I need this lab work. We talked about the why behind it. And she was like, yeah, I'll order them all. And she said, just know that they may or may not all go through with the insurance, United States insurance. And there are some things that she's not well versed in. But she gave me, and I have a dermatologist who I can talk to, or I can even go back to Dr. Brienne or some others to have them analyze it. I've had that offer extended. Um, but this is a note for you all that, sometimes a doctor can run them and you can go in and see, and then you can take the next right step from there as well. So I'm actually going to be getting that lab work done in the next week or two. So that was another thing that I had been kept putting off, putting it off, putting off. But so now that I'm scheduled to do that, I will be doing that. And then the next thing that I did was um, ramp up my exercise again. So I just got a health coach and I'll be working with the health coach on exercise, movement, tracking calories, weekly check-ins. And so it's a really great program. So it's through our health insurance here I'm in the US, so it's through the health insurance. And so I'm really looking forward to navigating through that process. And so the movement piece is a part of it, right? So it's all the same things that I've experienced over time that when these areas are in balance, so my sleep, my work, my food choices, hair care, movement and exercise, stress management, like all the same things are come into play when it comes to me trying to figure out what's going on. And so that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. The shedding has slowed down big time. And you can see, like, I don't have, you can see, I went to the stylist and, oh, let me tell you what else I did. I forgot. I was sitting on the sofa and I was going, doing this whole feel touching hair and all trying to figure out what's going on, all that. This is about a month or so. That was few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I just need to cut it. I just need to get it cut. Because sometimes cutting just seems to be a great fresh start. And now that I'm comfortable with wearing it short, it's like, let me just cut it. I'll just cut it. And so I was like, you know what? I'll make an appointment and that way I can get it cut properly because it was really growing. It was a hot mess, y'all. So I had made the appointment. I made the determination I was going to make the appointment. I think I had went online right there. I was sitting on the sofa, made the appointment. I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I want to just get it cut and we'll go from there. Within 10 minutes, I was in the bathroom cutting it myself. So within 10 minutes, I was in the bathroom with some scissors and I couldn't take it anymore. So I just cut. I just cut it off. And it was interesting in my hair. When it's short, it looks short. And when it's this long, it still goes to here. So shrinkage is real. So I cut it, I cut it. And it felt so much better. It felt so much better. And I was actually even concerned, like, am I going to have spots? Is it going to show? Because sometimes, even though it's thinner here, you can't tell And I don't know if you can see here. I don't have any. It's not anyway. So that's the front, the side. I had her actually, I did have her come and shape this up a little. I had her cut and shape this up. And even the stylist was like, no, you don't have any spots. Even though it is thinner in these areas, you don't have any spots. I was like, okay, then I'm back on track, right? It's not continuing to shed and shed and shed and shed. So we're back on track. That's where we are as of today. We are back on track. The other thing that I did actually too was I did use a little bit of the topical steroid for about 3 to 5 days throughout this experience. And that was one thing I did. But the other thing that I also did was I had been continuously taking my supplements, the turmeric, the pumpkin seed oil, and the magnesium. And I talk about those in some other videos as to why I take those. And so those were consistent through the whole time. So the other thing that was important was just the idea of um, living in gratitude because y'all, honestly, I really feel like I'm looking at this particular physical experience. It every time a flare up happens or something happens, it actually ends up being a reminder to me to slow down, to let some things go, whether it's hair, whether it's bad habits, whether it's um, whatever it is. Like sometimes you just need to let some things go. You definitely need to slow down. It doesn't all depend on you. It never has, but it doesn't. And then to pay attention. So it's almost like I've come to a stage where these flare-ups to me are almost like a grace. They're almost like well, actually, where God's grace is sufficient. He says that my grace is sufficient for you. I have enough for you. But then also, like, these are things that remind me to slow down, keep a living pace, keep a pace that supports living well, and let go of the things that don't serve you. Cut the hair off if you need to, cut off whatever the food things that are not helping you. Live in a way that I can, sometimes life is so much going on that we don't have the ability sometimes to do all the things that we want. And sometimes we just develop habits, we as in me, develop habits and patterns of behavior that just keep you going on a rat race and you don't need to. I don't need to. A lot of times when these flare-ups, I've had them at least 3 times in the last couple of years of being formally diagnosed. I always end up going back to those things of slowing down, paying attention, of course, prayer and calmness and quiet. And then again, letting go of some things. So anyway, that's where we are. That's where we are. So, have you had flare-ups? I feel like I've seen some comments about that. So, have you all had flare-ups, and what are the things that you do to help you when those things happen? I would love to hear. We would love to hear from you. And so, as we think about kind of like I said, what's next for the channel and what's next for us, and regardless of a flare-up or not, I'm still going to show up. If you and I'm still going to share. And I really, really, really would love to engage with you and connect with you in the membership. So the Nourish Your Crown membership. I don't know if I said it, it's like $2.99 a month, $2.99 per month. And so that's what it is. And you can click the join button. Would love to see you over there. Whether I see you there or whether I see you in the next video that I do in a couple weeks, I encourage you to continue to live well, live blessed, nourish your crown. And I'll see you in the next video.